Oh, I guess that's all working great and fine. That looks good to me. So, we seeing a bunch of online messages. We are. I will do this then and say, hi, welcome to the live taping of Podcast Pontifications. I am Evo Terra. You are in for just that. It's the live taping, the behind-the-scenes stuff. The podcast will start in about another 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just getting things prepped and saying good morning and hi to everybody out there. It's been a while, hasn't it? Hang on a quick second. Hey, Google, set the temperature to 25 for 30 minutes. And now, she will say. What? What did she do? She didn't do it. Hey, Google, set the temperature to 25 for 15 minutes. Maybe shut up there a bit too long. There she goes. There we go. Now she's done it properly. Like I was saying, good morning and hi, welcome. I have been away for a while. Thank you for letting me take a quick little week-long vacation to the lovely island of Belize. I have returned. I can't tell if it's just the bad lighting I have in here, which I still have bad lighting in here, or it's the fact that I'm burned. You know, all of those things are possible. All those things are possible. It looks like it's awfully washed. That's a little bit better. See, it keeps fading in and out. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Good morning, Arlen. Nice to see you, sir. Or nice to see your texts, which is what I can see on this thing here. Hey, if you were brand new to the program, this is live taping once again. Everything I'm doing right now is just preparing myself for the actual episode content. The episode content starts in about 3 minutes. You're more than welcome to hang out here with me and Arlen and anybody else who happens to be watching and say hi in a chat window if you would like to do that. Or you can just go to podcastpontifications.com and get subscribed over there. It's free. You can listen to the show when it's produced because it'll be all done, sent to the entire world in approximately 2 hours and 59 minutes. Yeah, it takes about 3 hours to take the 10 minutes of content I'm going to give you, if that, and make it into a podcast episode. But it's what I am doing. Let's make sure we're okay. Yeah, all good right there. Right, we're alive, we're going, everything is working out. So yeah, I was in Belize, which is a lovely country. It was my third visit to Belize, and we took our eldest beta grandkid with us, so we win Grandparents of the Year. Obviously, I'll be paying for that trip to Belize for the next 6 months, I'm sure, because, man, you know, everything's expensive. What are you going to do? But, you know, you take the time to do things in life that make you happy, and you do the things that are happy, right? Today on the program, we're going to be talking about listening habits and how easy they are to break, and the realities around that. So it's not necessarily a feel-good or a feel-bad episode. It's just an episode, right? Some things I was thinking about from some experiences that I've had. I do not like the fact that webcam continues to flash back and forth. How can I make that thing lock in position? Go away, App Store updates. I've already updated you. Can I lock? Oh, you know what? I didn't zoom, but you know what? The zoom looks pretty good. That was fortunate. How can I lock its brightness rates, whatever? Oh, there's auto white balance temperature. Let's lock that. So maybe that'll, if I turn that off of auto, perhaps that will help things. I don't know. I'm an audio guy, not a video guy. But what are you gonna do? Anyhow, like I was saying, we will be talking about how listening habits are a hard habit to break. I've got some boostograms. Thanks for everybody who had the boostograms. We'll have some of those in here. I should also note for the live audience, it is Indigenous Peoples Day here in America. Columbus Day is the official day on the calendar, but now it's Indigenous Peoples Day, which I think makes a whole lot more sense. And so there you go. I want to recognize that, which I'm trying to recognize it in the show, but you know, you never know if I can get to do that. Okay, I think everything is working the way that I want it to. Do I have any extraneous things on? Yes, Basecamp is on. Turning that off so that doesn't bother me over there. I think we're golden. We're good. Everything looks good. I'm going to do one last adjustment because, you know, I can't stop tweaking things. I just cannot stop the tweaking of things, but I'm going to try and do a little bit differently over here. See, that's awfully bright. Contrast, bring the brightness down a bit. Oh, see, I'm just looking weird. I don't know. I'm leaving it alone because, I'm not a video guy. One of these days I'll get some decent video lights and we'll make things look halfway decent in here. Or perhaps somebody can come in and show me how to make this look better, because right now it's just looking weirder and weirder the more I do with it. So what are you going to do? We'll leave it alone, and I will stop worrying about it and learn to love the bomb. Okay, let's get the content going. Streamed out here. Move everything over. Again, that's what you get for watching the live behind-the-scenes stuff when it's been a week. I had to replug in all of my stuff. Everything. All right, let me read the cold open. Consistently releasing episodes on a set schedule is a good idea to keep your overall audience happy. But that doesn't mean that every individual listener is listening to every individual episode. Is that okay? Yeah, I'm going to say. All right, so there's that. Let's do this thing, shall we? Consistently releasing episodes on a set schedule is a good idea to keep your overall audience happy. But that doesn't mean that every individual listener is listening to every individual episode. Is that okay? Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Last week, you didn't get any new episodes of Podcast Pontifications because I was in Belize. Yay! And yes, it was a lovely, lovely time. Strangely enough, I didn't get any new episodes of any podcasts while I was away. Allow me to explain. Yes, it's true. I didn't listen to any podcast episodes for 6 days. Not a one. And with the exception of some approvals I had to make on some files for clients produced by the team, I didn't even put headphones or earbuds on. And I subscribed to a lot of podcasts. It wasn't a Wi-Fi issue. I had plenty of access to all of the content. They were still there on my podcatcher. Being on vacation and doing lots of other things, that was the issue. A very good issue, I know I will say. When I boarded, finally, on Saturday of last week, when I boarded the 4.5-hour first leg of the journey back, I started listening to podcasts once again. I had a pretty big backlog in my queue, as you might imagine, not listening for 6 days. So I had to be picky, or at least I chose to be picky. I caught up on 2 serialized shows that I'm listening to. No, not just fiction. Well, one was fiction, one is nonfiction. And I also listened to exactly 3 other podcast episodes from 3 different podcasts. And that was it. Now, I'll probably eventually catch up on the other episodes of the serialized shows, because I'm listening to more than just those 2 serialized shows. Again, not just fiction. I'll probably catch up on all of those. But the episodic ones, the normal style of podcast that release every day or week or whatever, no, I probably won't go back and listen to those episodes that I didn't listen to. And yes, those are shows that I actually enjoy listening to. I love to listen to the episodes. But I know that there's going to be another episode of that show pretty much the next couple of days. So I'll be able to get my fix without going back. Related, a week or so before my trip, I emailed a friend of mine who's a podcaster as well. A podcast I listen to on a regular basis. I'm subscribed. I had a topic, idea for this podcaster. I thought about making it an episode of Podcast Pontifications, but it's a little too esoteric, and I don't think I can tie it back into podcasting enough. But this other podcaster, they would be perfect, I know, to cover this topic in great detail and would be really enjoyable for me. Turns out, after receiving my email, they said, "We've already done that. I have already put it out," they said. And it wasn't all that long ago. I missed it. And hey, that happens. As I said, I listen to a lot of podcasts. But you know what I didn't do? Knowing full well that this podcaster who had already covered the topic I wanted them to cover, I didn't go back and listen to that previously produced episode. I mean, yes, I really wanted to hear their take on the topic, but I guess it was too much effort for me to sort through either my podcast listening app or their page with the reverse chronological order of the dump of episodes they have to figure out which episode it was. What's the point of all of this, Evo? Well, the point of all this is that this happens a lot. A lot more than we probably want to admit to ourselves. And while, yes, I know I can count on a few, very few, dedicated listeners consuming my content on a regular basis, and I'm sure that you also can count on a few, likely a very few people, dedicated to listen to every single episode you put out, neither of us can say everyone does that. Heck, we can't even say that most people do that. Now, this is the part of the show where many podcast consultants would offer up ways to make sure your audience never misses your episodes. But that's all bullshit, if I'm being honest. You can't assure that. They can't assure that. No one can ensure that will happen. And yes, serialized content has a much greater chance of having episodes not skipped. But do you want to produce a serialized show? So my advice to you is don't sweat it. And also, don't assume that everyone hangs on your every word. Some do, for sure, but many more do not. I got a lot of boostergrams to get through, so let's power through these puppies. A big thanks to podcasting editing powerhouse Steve Stewart for this nice review he left on Podchaser. He says, Seth Godin is a marketing genius and always makes me think, wait, I'm not Seth. Oh, Evo is like the Seth Godin of podcasts about podcasting. Ooh. At least 80% of the time, Steve goes on to say, Evo makes me think and rethink about all kinds of podcasting topics, best practices, and big picture strategies. While I no longer produce podcasts of my own, listening to podcast pontifications helps me work with my clients, who are all podcasters, much better. Well, thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate that. High praise, for sure. I also got a note from Coach JD of the podcast Health Talks with JD. He left a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, as well as on Podchaser. He says, much needed. I love being given the opportunity to think rather than being instructed what to do. This show allows someone who's just getting into podcasting or has been in it for a while the chance to consider what choices they can make to build a better show for themselves. A much-needed show for anyone interested in podcasting to put in their rotation. Why, thank you very much, Coach JD. I appreciate that. Also, a big shout-out and thanks to B-Rai Souts. B-Rai, I've known for a long time. She sent me money through Venmo. Wow, yes, you can actually send me money through Venmo, as she does, with a note that says, thanks for all the valuable tips you share on podcast pontifications. B-Rai, you are very welcome, and I'm very much looking forward to the project you're working on right now, seeing how that thing takes shape. Inside meta joke just for you. And to wrap this Boostagram section up, Mr. Gary Arndt from the podcast, and also who dominates TikTok with Everything Everywhere, sent me an official Boostagram, saying he paid his 1776 sats and sent this message along that said, this show is part of my daily routine and one of a handful of daily podcasts I always listen to. A very fitting way to end this episode, Gary. Thanks for that. If you got value out of this episode or any of the episodes that I produce on Podcast Pontifications and you wish to return that value, we call it value for value. And you can go to podcastpontifications.com/value for value. I don't care how you spell it. You'll get there. And you'll find all of those ways which you can contribute to the show monetarily, through reviews, ratings, all of that. Podcastpontifications.com/value for value. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another Podcast Pontifications. Cheers. Stop the audio. Stop the video. All the things have been stopped. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Betty. I just saw Betty joined the chat earlier so I could say hi to her. There you go. That was the episode. If you missed it, sure, you could back up 14 minutes and 35 seconds and catch everything you missed. Or I have another idea for you. Ready? You ready for this? Go to podcastpontifications.com because that's where, in 2 hours and 47 minutes, the finalized finalized audio will be available. I will have also taken every word that tumbled forth from my mouth and rearranged that something pretty for your eyeballs to read. I'll write the article up And that will all be posted at podcastpontifications.com in a little bit. And if you go there right now and you click the button that says subscribe, it takes you to the bottom where you can drop in your email address and you will get Podcast Pontifications in your inbox. And that is a way where at 10 o'clock, you will get an email that says, hey, here's the episode for you to read the whole thing, just right there in your inbox. No link to click. You can just read the entire article that I wrote, or you can click the link and listen to the audio file, whichever you want to do. All of that happens. You'll never, ever miss it, even though I know you don't listen to everything or read everything, but this is one way to help, try and do that. Podcastpontifications.com. All right, that's it. I got to get this all edited and done. I was going to talk about She Podcast this week, but I ran kind of out of time. She Podcast is happening in Arizona, so I'm getting prepped for that. It's a busy, busy week because I've been on vacation for a week, so lots to do. Lots to do. Thanks for your attention and for watching. Yeah, both of those things. See you tomorrow.